So who exactly is diversity, equity, and inclusion bad for?
I have no comment.
You have no comment on who diversity, equity, and inclusion is bad for when you decide to ban it in our schools?
I have no comment.
How do you expect a black professor to not take a stance against racism in their own class?
No comment for you.
You have no comment on that.
No comment for you.
Are you aware that under this bill that a professor could not legally take a stance against the Holocaust in their classroom? How do you feel about
I'm
that?
gonna say this again.
You have no comment on a bill that you supposedly wrote that you stole from other fascist states?
This is Republican Senator Jerry Sereno.
So how do you justify censoring the discussion of electoral politics after blatantly stealing Ohio's electoral maps?
Oh, that too. Okay.
Yeah, that too. The things that you
want me to
did.
do cash
The consequences of your actions. What do you have to say to the countless students already looking out of state for school because of your bill?
I have nothing to say to you, and I've said it already, and that's the way it's going to be.
You really haven't, Sereno.
Senator Sereno, if you don't mind.
Oh, actually, I prefer Jerry.
Sereno chairs the Senate Higher Education and Workforce Committee, which recommended Senate Bill 83 for a vote by the full Senate. According to Inside Higher Ed, Ohio Senate Bill 83 takes aim at mandatory diversity training, partnerships with Chinese universities, and faculty unions' right to strike. It will also establish a new evaluation system for students to rate professors, with an emphasis on how faculty have eliminated bias from their classrooms. In addition, SB 83 will create a post-tenure review process and establish instructional workload policies, dictating minimum course loads, among other things, for faculty members at state universities, as well as shorten the terms of trustees serving on governing boards. So this is how the bill reads. Compare that to what Sereno said or didn't say when approached and confronted by Ohio Student Activist Alliance.
Jerry, I'd like you to answer. Who exactly is diversity, equity, and inclusion bad for? Who does that harm in our state that you feel the need to ban it in our public universities? You have no comment. Doesn't that mean something to you that you have no comment to any of the questions that students are putting up to you while hundreds of students across the state are organizing against this? And you have the audacity to claim that we're being coerced against by our professors with no evidence because you just don't care?
Hey, don't get in my face.
When interviewed by Forbes about this legislation, Senator Sereno claimed, "This bill is about what is best for students. It is about the quality of their education and about enabling them to become independent thinkers, ready for citizenship in a free society." More on this later. You may have noticed that SB 83 is similar to the sweeping reforms in Florida driven by Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. However, they appear to be derivatives of model legislation to abolish, quote, DEI bureaucracies written by the conservative Manhattan Institute and the National Association of Scholars in January, per the Columbus Dispatch. I mean, I guess I can see why anyone wouldn't want DEI training or courses to be mandatory. However, Sereno and his ilk are operating under the guise that kids are being indoctrinated by their professors, which leads to them being more liberal and at least leaning left, instead of wondering why a political party and political ideology aren't attractive to millennials and Gen Z.
I've made plenty of public comments on the bill. That's all I have to say.
And none of them have been to anyone's satisfaction.
And if anyone's censoring students, it's their peers. But it's gotten to the point that introducing a law is easier than contending with the ugly fact that your beliefs don't work for people. So if you can't defend your ideas about stifling instruction on topics like racism and the Holocaust, maybe you could use diversity, equity, and inclusion training. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has a new boyfriend, and good for her. We all need to be loved and respected, including people who dress in drag, like MTG's new boyfriend. The link to that video is in the description below. My content can be found by clicking the Jeff Wiggins hashtag or visiting my YouTube channel called We Gonna Be Alright. And if you didn't know, my architect knows Japanese.